Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. This is Jenga Njero. Now, today we have the Matchmaker Show, and you understand the protocol here. Any other time, we have a man on board. The man is looking for a woman. In the same way, when we have a woman on board, that woman must be looking for a man. Today, we are having a man, and I'll be telling you the kind of woman he is looking for. But before then, if you're watching us for the very first time, this is the Matchmaker Show. We help men and women to get matches. And the moment they get the right ones, they meet their destiny. So you're not lost if you're new to the show. Subscribe, like the video, and don't forget to leave a comment. Also, the contact of our guest will be on my Facebook page at Jenganjero. So you can follow Jenganjero on Facebook and you'll be getting us in real time. Our guest on today's show is Joshua. Joshua is a single man. At the age of 59, you could be asking yourself why he's single, what kind of woman is he looking for, and things like that. I've come to realize on this show that most people are victims of bad relationships. The reason why an overwhelming majority of people are single is because they are victims of the wrong relationships. Yes, we have quite a good number of people who have never been married, and we still have a number of people who have never, people who lost their spouses through death. I mean, they are widowed. Okay, the number of widowed people is not very big. The number of people who have never been married at any given point follows closely. But the people who have been divorced or separated, because it's one and the same thing, forms the overwhelming majority. And you realize that sometimes, and that is what we always opine on this show, if you get a chance to choose the best partner, choose. Otherwise, if you choose a partner that is not compatible, if you choose a partner that does not meet your standards, if you choose a partner that you are trying to force yourself on, sooner than later, we will see your tears. You will come crying. I am not a prophet, I'm just stating the obvious. I didn't make these rules. They existed from time immemorial. So from ancient times, they have always been there. Desire can never be negotiated. You negotiate desire, you will negotiate your stay. Just take note of that. If you negotiate desire, you push that person, he marries you or she marries you out of, guilt, she feels for you, pity for you. At some point, you will now negotiate to stay. Imagine bargaining to stay with somebody. You've already established relationships with friends and family. You've always shown the whole world that this is the person. And then all of a sudden you realize it doesn't even hold water. So take your time, choose the best. And one of the reasons why I've always encouraged people to even be posted. In fact, you can be posted even anonymously without your photo, without your actual number. You can get an alternative line. You can also get an email. Okay? Because I realized most people are victims of circumstances, like Joshua, who is our guest on today's show, having full permission to use his story as an example. Mr. Joshua is a 59-year-old man who is single and searching. Today, he is separated from a woman he says he fought a long battle to win. And you see, I don't know what was happening those days when men used to only love brown women. And it looked like an achievement if you had a light skinned woman. And it used to look like an achievement. And so he was fighting with comrades of those days. And he was able to win his way through. He bought his way through. And because he had money, he did not see the need to have that woman getting attracted to him, and so he used his money. Sooner than later, he decided to test the waters, and that is why he found out that his paternity was cheated, it was fraud, and out of the two children, none belonged to him. And I understand there are so many people. I've had cases here where people come live and tell me it was a paternity fraud that brought down their marriage. And you see, you're a short man. You are 4 5 feet, okay, 4 5 feet tall, and there's nothing wrong with being short. But because you bought your way into that woman's life, and she wants somebody who is either taller than her or maybe slightly taller or even tall, then she gets children out of wedlock, not to punish the man, but to make him raise them. Why? Because she is not attracted. And you see, these are the kind of people who contaminate the gene pool, because you make somebody live in a fantasy world. living in a world that you feel that you already love the children, you have them, they are yours, and then the boy is just becoming taller than the father. All of us, I don't understand. Maybe doctors in the room can help us to understand this genetical mathematics, because what kind of mutation is this? You're just 4 5 feet tall, the mother is maybe 4 3 tall, and then you give birth to 6 feet tall. I don't understand. Then you are dark, very dark, and then the boy is very bright, light that is, and also very bright. And when you look at where these genes are coming from, you realize that something somewhere went wrong. You go for paternity test and you realize you've been living a lie. It was all a lie. And this is the painful story of Joshua, who is single and searching, currently working and living in Nakuru. A businessman says that he's financially stable, doing very well, but not very well, because when you're single, out of the very reason that for more than 15 years you had been cheated, and you realize that now these teenage boys, you have to go and test, then you realize that it was all fraud. It is a heartbreaking moment. That's why he has taken more than another 15 years to come back. So we are speaking about a man who has been a bachelor for the last 15 years plus, and that marriage was shaky and rocky at the same time. When he realized that the children did not belong to him, there was nothing to negotiate. Yes, you negotiated to enter, you negotiated a desire, but you couldn't keep that desire. It couldn't be there. Why? Because the person is not attracted to you in the first place. And that is why Joshua is back. At the age of 59, you could be asking yourself, why is he single? What kind of a woman is he looking for? And things like that. Number one, he wants a woman who is God fearing, a woman who is committed to marriage, a woman who is serious, and a woman who does not have children. You see, it doesn't make sense to him, he says, taking somebody who has children, and he just dumped somebody who had children he used to raise thinking they were his. So it doesn't make sense to him at all. So if this woman does not have children, courtesy of complications, it is okay. If this woman does not have children because maybe time has not come, then it will not be the best. It will not be the best bet, because again, remember, he does not want to raise small children. He does not want to, alimalizana na hiyo maneno. You see, once bitten, twice shy. It is easy to tell people to forget, forgive, and move on. But it is another thing to forgive, forget, and move on, because you are not the other person. Until you put yourself in those shoes, that is when you realize how much it hurts. And you can imagine becoming another victim of paternity fraud at the age of 60, 61. You feel like you can queenish yourself. So the opinions of our guest are his opinions, and therefore he's entitled to any request, because life is very personal and very private for that matter. If there is a woman out there from the ages of 35 all the way to 40, 50, and not exceeding 55, but single and searching, not having children, a woman who is committed, a woman who fears God. Maybe she had children, maybe something happened to the children and she's just a mother in absentia. Okay, maybe they went to be with the Lord. Okay, or she does not have children, or she has tried and does not have children. This is your chance. You will contact Mr. Joshua. He's a Kikuyu man. You will contact him directly. I will be sharing his contact on my Facebook page at Jenganjero, hoping that he gets a good match. And to those people who are paternity thieves, it is very important to understand that people develop traumas, and those traumas live forever. You may be forgiven, but you will never be forgotten. It's a shame to be a paternity thief. Be faithful. I'll see you in the next video, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching us from. Bye bye.